What is actually in the just catting category on Twitch? Okay, that's a cat VTuber. This is the life I want to lead. Fluoride Eater is now following. Right, I could honestly just watch this. I don't need to do anything else. I could just watch this. This is Manchester train station. No, it's not. Right out of the gate, I'm lying. This is oh no, it is. I took pictures of like everything as I was going along. But this one in particular, has meaning. I took it right after the train that my parents got to Manchester Airport had left, because I had to get the train back from Manchester to Sheffield, because halfway along the train I realized I'd forgot my retainers, and I wasted, I think, £50 on train tickets doing that. This is me changing train in Manchester to finally go to the airport. Skybridge at the airport, which I get a picture of pretty much every time I go. Somehow, every single time I've been, the travelators are off. We were going to stay in central Manchester, but all of the hotels were so expensive, so we thought, fuck it, let's look at the one that's in Manchester Airport, because then we can get like a view that overlooks the runways where the planes take off. And it was cheaper, so we thought, fuck it. This was the room itself. Very fancy. I thought it was fancy, at least. 2 beds. I don't know why there was 2 beds. Big ass TV. Obviously the view overlooking the airport runway. It's nice for sure. You just get about anything even remotely nice, because I'm not used to it. I'm so used to being poor my entire life. Mate, the curtains were motorized. That is fancy. There was like a fridge down here. There was a full cupboard. There was a safe. I'm not used to that. Air conditioning, standard, but like it was really good air conditioning. There was a fucking phone by the bed. I don't know what this shit was for. I didn't use it. I don't need it. Oh yeah, there was a phone over here as well by my starbursts. This was the view at the window of the runway. It wasn't spectacular. That's obviously not a runway. The runway is like way back here. Planes and shit did park in here, and little vehicles and guys moved around. This is the restaurant that was in the hotel. I thought this was really fancy as well. They were really accommodating as well. The menu for like room service and for the restaurant itself were 2 different things, and I was like, huh, that's confusing, because the menu for the restaurant didn't really have anything I wanted, but I saw that on the room service menu they had pizza. We asked like, hey, we saw on the room service menu that you do pizza, but it's not on this menu. Is that like the 2 different companies operate that or whatever? And the guy was like, yeah, like it's usually just for room service. And then obviously he thought I was a kid, so he looked at me and was like, does the young man want pizza? Or something like that. And I was like, yes. So, then he was like, okay, for you. That's my dad burping. This little dot here is, that's a plane taking off. People at work, like, before I went, were making comments about, like, how can you fly alone? Like, that must be scary. And I was like, no, I actually quite enjoy it. It's quite nice, just not having anyone bother you. This is, 7:55, so this is, like, right as I was about to head out of the airport and then back in to get into the terminal. There was a big storm this day as well. The rain and the clouds, like, suddenly appear out of thin air. But yeah, like, as soon as I got out, my hair went from, like, being in my eyes to just about peeling off my scalp, and it pushed my flight back by about half an hour. I was really concerned that I wouldn't make it in time. And this is me taking a really blurry photo, waiting for my gate in my fucking ripped-ass jeans. This is right when I got to Heathrow. Heathrow was fucking enormous. I know that you can literally see on Google Maps how big it is. Oh my god. Like, it's the sense of scale there is insane. 53D, I always like to get seats right at the back of the plane and right in the aisle. And then this is right over New York, just about. This is when I just got to JFK. Me and my flatmate, who I was staying with and met up with there, were like messaging back and forth. He was on the subway, like trying to get to JFK, but couldn't make it in time. Someone in a bar suggested he take the F train, I think, and he took the E train instead, because they both went to the same place, but the E train takes a longer route. This is like my reaction as I first like exited the station into New York. The audio tends to be quite quiet on videos on my phone, so I'll mute the music for this one.
Jesus Christ. In the buildings to get that, so...
You can tell I'm tired because I just dragged a suitcase all the way up them steps.
Christ. What's that pencil looking on there? Jesus.
Sounds so excited. I was. I've never been to a big city. The biggest city I've been to is Manchester. Before this, obviously. Your voice doesn't sound the same at all. I mean, I was tired. I tend to find that I sound different in person anyways. My accent thins out a lot on stream and when I'm talking to people from the States or people from other countries in general. Like, I don't do it on purpose. It just happens. I think you sound the same IRL. Yeah, because you're American. I thin my accent out on, like, on stream and around, like, people from different nations subconsciously because it's easier for them to understand. My accent comes out more around other Brits. This was, like, the second thing we saw. I thought this was funny. Obviously, we came out in Times Square because that's right around where we were staying. This is a gun-free zone. And it's like, damn, this sign should be everywhere. This was crazy. Okay. Keep in mind here. Take a look at the side here. 1756, 1752. I had been in New York City for 4 minutes.
I've been here 5 fucking minutes. I know.
Yeah, it's a bit hard to see, but there was like an enormous religious parade going on. I think I tried to get a picture of it here, but you can't really see it. The only thing I will say is if you can afford to, don't cheap out on hotels, and we'll get to that later. Actually, we'll get to that now. This is the view from our hotel window. We didn't expect anything at all. We didn't go for the cheapest place. We went for, like, a place that was cheap, Times Square area, and had, like, good reviews and seemed pretty nice. Yeah. That's the state of the plug sockets. Because we got it through booking.com, we got a deal and got it for just shy of $1,000, I think. It was, like, bang next to Times Square, in all fairness, but yeah, it gets worse from here. This is the room itself. Like, it seems nice on the surface, but then you start picking at the fine details. TV wasn't connected to Wi-Fi, and we couldn't Chromecast to it. We also couldn't connect to HDMI on it because they disabled it. The air conditioner ponged. This thing fucking reeked. We ran it all the time because it was warm, but it oh my god, it smelled awful. Like, every time I walked into our hotel room, it smelled like it was moldy. This was one of the lights next to my bed. You can see the tape. It barely hung on to this. The sockets in here were terrible. I had to charge my phone in... There was like a... That's spoilers. There was like a socket down here that I had to charge my phone in because the two next to our beds literally didn't hold on to our phone chargers. You can see his hanging out of the socket here, actually. So this is like the view, like a minute's walk from outside our hotel. You can see the M&M store is literally bang there.
The Symphony of New York. Yeah, aka traffic noise and tourist noises. Yeah.
You can see it. You can hear Empire State of Mind in the background. Every corner I walked around, that song was playing. There were so many of these little tourist booths set up, and they were all playing this song or like some variation of it, and it was really annoying. Looks so futuristic with all the giant screens around. Yeah, it was like it was a real experience. Yeah, I took a lot of pictures of products. This is ridiculous. 25 fluid ounces. That's like 780 milliliters, I think. This is like a pint and a half for a single can. Like, I saw that, like, my flatmate was like, oh my god, I've got to get a Stella. Yeah, I had to get a picture of the neon Fanta as well, like, every single time. This is closer to what European Fanta looks like. This shit, I drank it a lot, but it didn't sit well with me. I actually got these when I got in Chicago. I had some. But I only took a picture of this because I wanted to take a picture of how proudly announced it is that this has absolutely nothing real inside it. I was like, bro, I have never seen a bag of Skittles that fucking big in my life. I was like, there is no way this isn't a multi-pack. It's not. It's just one big-ass bag. Like, this is their sharing size. Whenever I get there and end up eating American food and drinks, everything that comes out of me is a different color and a different consistency. Like, my piss was neon yellow the entire time I was there. This was also close to where we were. I thought this was a really nice little area. Because obviously you've got all that modern high-rises around it and the sky where you can just barely see the stars through the light pollution. And then this church down here that was just randomly squeezed in the middle of all of it.
Tonka toy looking.
This was just like us giggling at American TV. This is just like You've Been Framed, but both infinitely worse and infinitely better. There was like goofy-ass sound effects on everything.
Let's just click in front of them.
You can hear the sound effects. Yeah, it's like way higher production value. The sound effects on everything, and the prize was like, I think like 20 grand. The winning prize for a You've Been Framed video was 250 quid, and the show ran for like 30 years. I had to take a picture of this because I remember this the last time when I visited Joe. The cucumbers there are enormous. Yeah, this is more hotel issues. This was the bathroom door handle. She was like that for the entire duration of this episode. One of the most insane things I saw on American TV, aside from like all the adverts for medications, was during this show, they cut away from the credits to an advert and then cut back to the credits. On what planet? Oh, we walked like the entire length of like, well, half the length of Manhattan Island, roughly, in this day. We meant to book to see the top of One World Trade Center on Tuesday, but accidentally booked it for Monday. So we were like, okay, I guess we're doing that today. So we went quite a few places. I think this is looking down towards Times Square. We just went past it on the way down. Yeah, you can see, dive into Times Square. This is like one of my favorite pictures from the entire trip. Like these little pocket parks that they've started building in New York in recent years are really nice. I really like them. Having a bit of nature in between all the buildings. It's a really nice look. This is when we finally got to the Nintendo store. You can see the Alamo right up front. Who is this product for? Genuinely. This was really cool. They had a cabinet with like the history of like everything they've done. This side was all the home consoles and the other side was all the portables. Are you playing Minecraft? But yeah, they had a big screen up front as well on the top floor. Also this was crazy. This screen changed many times. Obviously, it's an LED screen. You can see it on the inside, but you can't see it on the outside. You just see straight through it on the outside, which I think is wild. Oh yeah, I also saw my boyfriend. I got a picture with him as well. There was a Luigi down the bottom as well, and a Toad, and up top was Mario. So as me and my flatmate were walking up the stairs, I said, I made a comment, like as I took this picture, saying like, Luigi always number 2 compared to his brother, and then this random other guy that was in there just turned around and went, but not in our hearts. And I really liked that. Yeah, I got a picture proclaiming my love. They gave me a bag with him on, and I thought like, oh, that's cool. They gave me a Link bag because I bought a lot of Zelda stuff. No, that's just what they had for the day. I don't understand how buildings like this don't just collapse immediately. Also this... Oh, shit! No, I didn't think I got another picture of one of these. Oh, that's fucking awful. Oh god, yeah, there was so many of these things, both in New York and Chicago. I was so upset seeing these. I was upset seeing these as well, to be honest. You do not need a truck this big for a city this tight. People who own Cybertrucks would be the type of people to, like, see 16 empty urinals and stand next to the one used one, and then start asking him if he knows anything about cryptocurrency. Hudson Yards was insane. We felt very out of place. It was a very posh place. Most people were wearing, like, if not, like, clothes like this, they were wearing, like, full-on suits and shit. We went to Uniqlo. This was the most boring Uniqlo I'd ever been in. We only go to Uniqlo for the graphic t-shirts. Everything in here was plain. There was not an ounce of color. Black and gray and beige and bullshit. You can see how kind of like posh it is. Everything is very clean and very boring. We also saw a car dealership in there, which was wild. I was like, oh, no fucking way there's a car dealership in here. Yeah, this is back outside Hudson Yards. Out the back of it, they had this little plaza area, which is really nice. It was a really warm day that day. Most of these pictures were things that I didn't actually get to see just because of how bright the sun was. So I took a lot of pictures just pointing my phone up to an area that I couldn't see and then being like, I'll appreciate that later. This was a nice view, aside from the road and the train yard and the other road. You could see like New Jersey from here. You can see here, this isn't actually the sun. This is a reflection off of one of the buildings shining on this woman's face and her back at the same time. Like there was so many reflections off all the big glass buildings. I took plenty of pictures of tall buildings because they just fucking mesmerized me, and shots like this with the sun behind the buildings I just love. This is the start of the High Line. Gorgeous. Gorgeous. It was a really nice area. It's a bit of disused train track that they turned into a walkway that goes above the city. And this is the view like from the other side. Like the two sides of it, like the one side is this ugly ass car park and train yard, and then this the glass monoliths, and then the other side is New Jersey and this road. Like having the contrast between like the tall buildings and the road down here, and then like the less tall buildings in like Jersey City and stuff was quite nice. Yeah, and this is where the High Line like properly starts. I thought this was really neat that it goes like under and through this building. I took a lot of shots like this as well, like down the road, because I just think they're neat shots, seeing like the almost like a valley in between the hills. There we go. Now you can see him. I don't know when this showed up. Apparently it showed up like somewhat recently. Yeah, you can see I like I say, I took a lot of shots like this.
Look at him go. He's front to his big brother.
This is also one of my favorite pictures. Making me want to visit New York again. Making me want to visit New York again. I was there a month ago. I like this one. I mean, I like a lot of the pictures I took, and of course I'm biased because I took them. This one's another one of my favorites. This is heading towards Chelsea Market. My flatmate ended up getting a smoothie. I forget what flavor it was. It was like a number of different fruits, but I had a sip and it was really good. I got some mini donuts and a Fanta. This was also one of my favorite shots, like just in this area in general. I took a couple pictures in here. This was interesting to me. You can see like more sort of like older buildings, more like classical New York architecture here, but also the cobbled street. Obviously it won't be like Roman cobbled streets like they are here, but it's not something I've seen, not something I've even heard about in the US before. This was a shot that I didn't even really notice until after the fact. Obviously that's a Samsung shop down there, but look at the building it's in. It's like, obviously the main structure is square, but this like external structure is twisted, which makes it look, the main structure look twisted. It's so cool. We'd walked like maybe half a mile north at this point. This was just like a pocket park. And they also had a pumpkin. It was getting near Halloween. When we were walking around this area, me and my flatmate were saying like, if we were to live in New York, it would be in this sort of area, like lower Manhattan. There's not as many high rises down here. It's more mid rises. It's very quiet. It's very clean. There's a lot more nature. Nice area in general. Another cobbled street. We saw a couple of these down this end. And there's One World Trade Center. That was our destination right there. This is also a really nice shot. Damn, I didn't even see that until now. That is a really nice shot. Holy shit. When I was on the High Line, there was some Americans passing by us that had very clearly traveled, and we heard a few comments about the English. There was multiple, but the one that sticks out in my mind is this group of like women that went past us, where one of them just said, I don't know, the English is weird. And me and my flatmate just looked at each other and went, the English are weird. Like, I get it, but also, come on. Like, think about where you're coming from. There's a lot of goofy yet interesting architecture in New York. More classical stuff, like classical European type architecture here. Sort of 60s boxy build-up design. And then whatever the fuck this is. I don't think I ever got a proper picture of this, but this is the AT&T building that's designed to withstand a nuclear blast. Such an interesting piece of architecture. It has no windows on it whatsoever. This is walking down towards Wall Street, I believe. We didn't go down Wall Street. We didn't even realize we were heading down towards like a courthouse until we saw this, and we were like, oh. Yeah, we saw this sign with the world's most stretched out picture, and I legit couldn't tell what was going on here, and I don't know what this has anything... I don't understand what this is. I think one of these down here is Wall Street. This is a neat shot as well. Yeah, One World Trade Center there. All these different buildings and types of architecture. It's so interesting. Just because like London doesn't really have high rises. There was so many restrictions on architecture in London for so long that prevented high rises that like this is just such a unique place. It's such a unique and cool place. It's something that you literally cannot see in the UK. This photo alone, yeah, no, I took quite a few good photos, but this is definitely up there. This sort of area in general was just really nice. The contrast in the architecture is amazing to see. Yeah, that's one of my favorite things about this place is just you can see like the evolution of all the building styles and materials throughout the years. It's really neat. This shot as well, like around this roundabout, this is really nice. I think I thought that one of these buildings was like the Wall Street building at one point, but my flatmate was like, nah, it's not. We're a couple streets over from it. I had to go ultra wide for that picture just to get the whole building in. One World Trade Center is fucking enormous. Like, this video should put it in perspective, actually. Vertical video. Right? And look. I can't even get it all in this shot. This was a shopping center. I thought that this was the 9/11 museum, but turns out it's a shopping center. It's a fucking huge building, though. The picture really doesn't do it justice, but look at how small these people are. They are... That is a bench on the side of the building. She's standing on a bollard. There we go. Right, they're standing right by the building. Zoom out. This was an interesting experience. I don't really have too much to comment on it. This, like, actually getting to see this was a bit heartbreaking. Oh yeah, we saw some fire engines taking off. I know I'm gonna be a hypocrite for saying this, but I mean, you can see all the people filming. One or two of these fuckers, I don't know who, stood in front of the doorway because I guess they thought they were just doing like a test run or some shit. until one of the firemen was like, get the fuck out of the way. You can see they were putting up the Christmas tree lights, the Christmas lights around here as well. But anyway, behind this shot was the Burger King that we went to, that just about killed me because of how sweet the Coke was. I forgot how sweet American Coke was. This was really neat. I would love to see New York at Christmas time. This is inside of One World Trade Center heading down the escalator. Yeah, there it is. One World Observatory. All the technology that goes into this, whatever. They specifically built it to this height because that is the US's year of independence. They didn't do that because it was convenient or whatever. They did that because they were like, World Trade Centers fell down. We are patriotic as fuck. Let's use our goofy ass measurement to make it our goofy ass height. This was fun. This is a video that they had us all watch, like a little presentation that kind of shows off New York before we went into the World Trade Center, into like the observatory part of the World Trade Center. It's supposed to be both like a New York through the ages and like a showcase for New York, essentially. You can hear our reactions at the time. It was so fucking cool. And this is like the first shot that I got, really. This is looking over New Jersey. This is not New York. We went like right around sunset, which I think was perfect because it means that you can get really nice low sun shots like this. And then also wait a bit and see it at night. All lit up. There's Liberty Island. You can see the Statue of Liberty looks tiny from up here. This is like one of the first shots we got looking towards New York. This was as like we started to make our way round the building, and this is one of the first shots we got of New York while the sun was still going down. I was heavily weighing up between two pictures to set as my phone background for my lock screen, and it was between one of these of World Trade Center and one from when we went up the big wheel in Chicago, and I ended up going with the one from Chicago. But like there is so many cool pictures. Obviously, again, the reflections are a bit of a problem, but there are a lot of shots where I managed to avoid them as much as possible. This is one of my favorites. This is the one that I had as my background for a while. These two pictures are the same. It's just this one is shot at an ultra wide angle. Holy shit. You can see how like almost small this building looks from up here. That was like what we spent a lot of our time doing. We spent like an hour and a half up here just being like, god fucking damn, this city is big, and also everything looks tiny. I specifically said to my flatmate, like, I want to go at night because I think it'll look awesome when it's all lit up, and I'm very, very glad we did. Off towards this direction is Times Square, and I believe that's Empire State Building there. There's the AT&T building. Yeah, you can see it in full form now. No windows. Still see the reflection of my t-shirt. Dream is one day to be rich enough so that I can have an apartment with a skyline view like this. Yeah, that'd be nice. Now the sun's gone down. Yeah, we kind of went round in circles and did the same thing twice. There we go. Okay, now we're on to the gift shop because I did buy a few things. We took a picture of this because it's fucking Comic Sans. And then this is like inside that big shopping center. Oh yeah, I saw there's a lift that said, have a nice day. Yeah, so this is inside that shopping center. It also has, like, links to the subway. This place was, like, partially underground. It was crazy. We ended up getting the subway back from here, I believe, because we were like, yeah, I can't. Yeah, no, we got the subway back. I had an autism moment and was like, I gotta take a video of this shit. I've not been on the London Underground in a long time, but I would bet that these move faster than the London Underground. Would they be more fancy in the USA? The USA gives precisely 0% of their money to public transit. We went to H&M, they left a tag on my shirt and we had to go back the next day. And then this is on the way back through Times Square later at night. I don't remember if this is the night where we properly walked through Times Square. Oh, it is, yeah. We did like a lot of stuff in one day. I was convinced, oh yeah, gay building, by the way. I was convinced that this billboard was 3D. I swear the Coke billboard in Times Square used to be 3D and they've just like got rid of the 3D on it or something. Oh my god, the burger! What? How did I not see that? The burger! That is definitely not a burger company, but... a burger. One more lane. I swear, one more lane will fix traffic. I swear. Times Square was stunning. Even if it's just like a bunch of billboards with advertising on it. The bright lights and all the people around just make it a very unique experience. I understand that it is just a haven to capitalism, but like you take that out of it and it is just awesome. Yeah, this is what I was on about earlier. We saw Just like, we saw a lot of Jews in New York. This was just a lot of them walking in a circle. This turned into a rave later on. Yeah, more shots down Times Square. These are some of my favorites, definitely. This was cool as well. 3D adverts on like billboards that wrapped around corners.
Why is Comedy Shorts Gamer in Times Square? What the?
Oh yeah, I forgot about this. Very bright place. They pedestrianised a decent amount of it as well, which was nice to see. Yeah, there was just one of them in the middle with a giant speaker playing, like, techno music or whatever this is. I have no idea what they're doing here at all, to be honest, but I rate it. He bought this big-ass billboard and couldn't even crop it right. We got New York-style pizza. Bet you can't tell who's the one with autism. We went to this this place twice while we were there. Just really solid all round. Non-pizza head ass? Fuck you mean? It's got cheese and tomato on it. It's a margarita pizza. It just looks plain. You're fucking telling me, holy shit, plain pizza is plain? Oh my god, what a revelation. Holy shit, the world cannot comprehend this information. We went to Times Square at midnight because recently they've started doing something called Moments at Midnight, where all of the billboards at like 2 or 3 minutes to change to like this art show.
There it is.
There we go. Yeah, you can see some of them are a bit further ahead than others, but they're mostly in time with each other. Yeah, like I just said in the video, there was a couple of them that aren't doing it. Like this one couldn't give less of a shit. I'll not play the whole thing because it's 3 minutes, but you get the point. It was really neat to see. Yeah, and that's how many steps I did in that day. 21 kilometers. Oh yeah, this was, we saw this on the first day when heading out to Chinatown. I didn't get a picture of this, but there was an advert for this guy. And I was like, you're kidding, this isn't real. And then I went on the website and I was like, oh, it's real. This is the second day, back down Times Square, but just in the daytime. I almost might run out of time just talking about New York here. Like I'm only on to day 2. So what did we do on day 2? Oh yeah, day 2 was Central Park Day. Oh yeah, we also headed down because we needed to go to H&M to get the fucking tag took off my shirt. Central Park is probably where I got some of my best pictures. There's like this one main route that runs throughout all of Central Park. That a lot of cyclists went on. I thought that it was really neat that like a lot of the buildings on like this the outskirts of Central Park are high rises, like stupidly high rises. You get shots a bit like this where it's like the naturist area that you're in surrounded by these enormous buildings, and it's just a really nice contrast. This is one of my favorite pictures from it. Just interesting in general. I think it's really a really nice shot. Oh yeah, there was a lot of seeds falling. We have a word for these. Helicopter seeds, that's what we call them. But many of the pictures I took in Central Park and in New York in general are really good pictures in my opinion. Oh yeah, black squirrels as well. Someone told us to keep an eye out for these. If these people weren't here, I definitely would have been there. There was quite a few spots like this where it was like ideal for someone to sit, and so I don't blame people for sitting down and looking over the view, but I'm fucking envious of these people. Another nice shot of the buildings in the background. Shots like this get better from here though, as we start to head towards the lake. Autumn is like also my favorite time of year for this type of shit. The leaves all changing color this time of year is just gorgeous. Autumn is like the best season in my opinion because the weather's still warm, but the trees look brilliant. There we go, now we're on the lake. Imagine how beautiful it must look with snow everywhere. Oh yeah, definitely. If I could afford it at some point, I would definitely like to go to New York around Christmas time. Yeah, the lake is definitely where I got some of my best shots. Like, there really isn't a bad picture of the lake that I got, to be honest. Here we go. Now we start to get in there. At this point, we're nearly at the end of the lake. There we are. There we are. This is one of my, these, like, between these are, like, my favorite shots. I'd say this one's probably my favorite one from Central Park. This is heading around the other side of the lake now. Oh, this tree was sick as well. If these fuckers weren't here, I totally would have stood here in front of the waterfall. Yeah, and this is when we're heading back out. We'd hit Central Park North by this point, and we're heading back out, and we chose to get the subway back down. Oh yeah, this is on the last full day. It's Tuesday, yeah, because we're heading towards Empire State, which was unintentional. We were down there for a different reason. Oh yeah, we saw a DJ just in the back of a car. It's a very, very alive city, and I really like that about it. There's always something going on. Oh yeah, no, this is definitely the last full day. So this is the video where we found the cockroach.
It's around this corner here. Oh, you got it. Have you got it? Yep. Oh my god, now what? I don't know what to do.
Yeah, we caught it under the cup. After that, I ended up going to grab... We grabbed, like, one of the bottles of melatonin that we got to put on top of the cup to stop it from moving. And then I ran downstairs to the reception and was like, hey, there's a cockroach in our room. I don't know what to do about it. And he was like, okay, what's your room number? Told him, and he said, okay, we'll send someone over. Waited like half an hour, nobody came. And then my flatmate went downstairs and was like, that cockroach is still in our fucking room, by the way. And then eventually someone came. All they did was grab some tissue, lift up the cup, and then let it run. And so my flatmate, of course, with his shoes on, stomped on it. And then the guy just picked up the remains of the cockroach and wandered off. So then he had to clean up his shoe. I had to clean up the remains of the juices on the floor. And then we both didn't sleep terribly well that night because we were just thinking, oh my God, what if there's another one? This was the next day. Back on towards Central Park. That's Central Park here. We were going to go see the Natural History Museum, but the queue was fucking enormous. So instead we chose to just effectively go wander around. We ended up going down back towards the financial district and see One World Trade Center poking out there. We were going to go down towards Battery Park so that we could see Liberty Island, but it was closed off, so we didn't really get the chance. Oh yeah. Another one of these buggers. Yeah, the viewing point was closed off for refurbishment, so the best we got to see was this. I think this is actually pictures that I took on the way out. What time was it? No, these are just pictures I took. These are pictures I took on the way out. This is, as I was going to head towards LaGuardia to get my flight to Chicago. But the train got cancelled, so I had to change station. But I still made it. And this is the inside of LaGuardia. Fucking beautiful. It literally just been refit. Robert! My voice is sore, so I can't really properly do it. They had this fountain in the middle that I thought was sick. So they had like projectors on and like controlled beams of water that like shined down. Every 15 minutes on the hour, they would have songs that would play with visuals shined on the water with the projector. And the songs were all obviously themed around New York City. Yeah, this is really fun to watch. And then on the way out LaGuardia, I got this picture. You can see over towards Manhattan Island, which I thought was just such a gorgeous view. I think that's the... No, I don't know. That might be the Brooklyn Bridge. I'm not sure. Around here is Central Park. You can tell by the pencil-looking buildings. Around there, by all the light, that's Times Square. That is the Empire State Building and Chrysler Building. Financial District, One World Trade Center. And then obviously the airport. That's mesmerizing. I could lose track. Exactly. And then this. This is my biggest regret. This is my biggest regret from the trip. I didn't get a window seat for the flight out of New York. I should have. I ended up like leaning over and like zooming my camera in, and my phone doesn't have a zoom lens, so it's just digital zoom. Oh my God, the view. This is the best I could do. It's just such a good view. And then the same into Chicago. Shit picture, but stunning view.